Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Trans Sisters TV. I'm Angel Qinan, a registered nurse and an actress, and I'm here with my sister, starting off with Ally.
Hi everyone, welcome to Transgender TV. Yes, a community gathering every week where we talk about a topic that's close to our hearts as human beings. Of course, the topic for tonight is holiday stress, holiday blues. But before we go into further details about our topic tonight, again, I'm a TV news makeup artist here in Washington, D.C., and all of us are proud transgender Pinay from different cities from all over the world. Back to you, Angel, to introduce our two lovely sisters and co-hosts for the evening.
Yes, I'm going to start with our regular co-host that you all know very well, Miss Sonia, the only one.
Mabuhay! Yoko Zo! Welcome to Transistor TV. Happy holidays is near. So, I'm Sonia, the only one. Sonia Agbayani. I'm a fashion celebrity stylist and I work in events and corporate also events. So, mabuhay and ho ho ho!
Yes, mabuhay. I love all the colors. And of course, tonight, we have a very special co-host. It's the first time you're seeing her on Transistors TV community gathering, but you probably already know her from one of our shorts, Miss Dana, all the way from New York City.
Good afternoon or good evening to everybody watching. Thank you for having me. I'm Dana. I'm a physical therapist in New York City.
Yes, so oh my gosh, we have so much in store for all of you tonight. And to everyone on our live chat and everyone who's watching, hello! Hello to Salman is my caller. Hello, Miss Karen Pineda. Hello to everyone. And also, please feel free to ask us any questions and please feel free to answer the questions as well, as we would like to share your thoughts to the universe. So again, first, let me define for you what holiday blues mean. So according to foundrybc.ca, the holiday blues are temporary feelings of anxiety or depression during the holiday season. There's shopping, social events, and expectations of a good holiday. And these pressures can be stressful. Yes! You may also miss loved ones or have negative feelings come back from past memories of the holidays. So to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, on our live chat, as well as my dear sisters, what do you feel about this description? And can you also give me your own definition of what holiday blues or stress is to you? Who would like to go first?
I agree about that. That description, and I call it a seasonal depression. It's like something you feel during the day or during the season. Like you feel sad and you miss somebody or you miss something that you usually do with other people that you're no longer with. Seasonal depression or holiday blues.
Love that. Thank you, Miss Dana. Okay. Angel, how about you? Or Miss Sonia? What's your take on it?
I agree with your definition in Dana's. I mean, it's as what we read it, it's holiday blues and stress. So it's something during the holiday, it's something that we feel. So sometimes we get stressed or have the blues because I think there's like a lot of expectations on the holidays. You know, like sometimes when you watch a holiday movie, you expect it to be happy, to be like a complete family. You expect it that everybody is enjoying. But unfortunately, that's not the case for all of us because we still have our own real lives to follow. And, sometimes I think like for example, Mariah Carey's song is so popular because people are lonely if they're single on Christmas. Like, all I want for Christmas is you. So I think it's very seasonal and it comes about like with the stress and the busyness and the expectations of holiday or of the holidays.
Yes. And if I could actually answer that question, for me, I actually agree with the description as well. And I definitely can attest to this. I actually think that as I've gotten older, I feel like holidays have become more of a chore than something that I enjoy. I almost want to believe that holidays are really for kids because you know what, kids really, they just expect gifts to come. But as an adult, especially when you're so busy, there's so many things that you need to do. You know, I mean, like there's so many deadlines. There's deadline at work, that, you know what, I also need to have a deadline of who I need to give gifts to, deadline for me to finish my work before the holidays, and also who am I going to travel to visit my loved ones. So for me, that is my definition of what holiday stress is. That sometimes instead of me enjoying it, it becomes like a checklist of what I need to do first. On that note, Miss Sonia, the only one, how about you? What is your take on this definition, as well as your own definition of what holiday blues or stress is to you?
Yes. Holiday, despite what they say, it's the wonderful time of the year. But well, as Miss Ali said, when you're a kid, you really love this season of hope and giving because it's for the kids. It's really for the kids. You think about Santa Claus and everything. That's wonderful. So as for me, as an OFW, overseas Filipino worker, I work in Japan for 20 years. And let's see, and I will just say that in Japan, they really don't celebrate Christmas that much.
Interesting.
Yes, because they're Buddhists. Most of them are Buddhists. So it is a commercial thing for them. It is a commercial thing for Christmas. So as a Filipino, as a Christian, as a Catholic, it is working in Japan and overseas. It's a pressure, and it because it just really like reminds you of when you were a kid, when you're back home with your family. It just reminds you of, oh, it's Christmas, and that's where the pressure, the depression, the anxiety, and of course, and you're working also. That's where the cramming and the tense comes, and so it just piles up. And at the end of the day, you just have to say, I just have to enjoy this season because it's Christmas, and I think it will be a happy season for me, despite what I'm feeling. Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato. There you go. So to everyone, if you're enjoying our chat so far, oh my gosh, it's like an intense topic. Please support our live chat tonight by giving it a thumbs up. It would really help our episode today to hopefully further reach people who actually have a concern about holiday blues or holiday stress is to them. Now, my next question is, as proud transgender women of color, transgender Pinay, do you think that holiday blues or holiday stress, do you think that it is prevalent in the transgender community?
I think definitely it's prevalent in the transgender community, especially to those who are not accepted by the family, or if you are accepted by the family and you have to go back home and you're gonna sit on the dinner table and start having conversations with things that you do not agree with. More specifically, if it's like politics, like I've heard this so many times with some of my transgender friends that they would go back home and be on the dinner table with their family and they would just like kind of go at it in terms of like talking about things. So I think we are at higher risk of like having stress and depression during the holidays. And if you add like, let's say, the unemployment rates of like some of our transgender sisters or siblings, then it actually adds up to that pressure of like being able to produce something for gifts or giving or a nice holiday dinner or something like that. So I think it's definitely prevalent in the transgender community.
I definitely agree with you, Angel, that it's definitely prevalent in the transgender community. Especially if you are in a city or place where like for example, I'm here in Washington DC. I don't have much of a big support group, so it's something that I definitely feel, because back in New York, of course, like I have Dana, living there for several years, I actually have like a very big support group. But here, geographically speaking, I feel like I don't. So it's a little bit hard for me. I'm just trying to like work hard so that I can actually take away from my mind about being depressed. But I know that that's not the healthy way to really deal with it. And just like what Ate Sonia said a while ago, that when she lived in Japan and being a Filipina who celebrated the holidays, geographically speaking, she had to reminisce those good times of what holidays is to her when she was in the Philippines, just so that she can really enjoy the holidays in Japan as well, because it's very commercialized in Japan. So yeah, it's definitely prevalent in the transgender community. Miss
So
Dana?
since you all talked about its prevalence in the trans community, I'm going to talk about my work community. I work at a nursing home, and most of the people in the nursing homes are older people. And um, having said that, it's it's prevalent in the trans community. It's also prevalent in like older people's lives, and that a lot of them want to go home when it's the holidays. Some of them have no longer family members around and no one's visiting them. And concerning me naman, and I I think it is a really important topic to discuss about depression and all that, and having a good support system. I don't have that much anymore because I move all the time, so I lose communication or like friendships over time. Not because they're not good people. It's just you outgrow each other, and that's all.
But just so you all know, Dana is someone that I knew way before my transition. She's always been a dear friend to me. We've been friends for more than 15 years. And we want you to know, Dana, that we appreciate you and thank you for
Oh,
being
thank
here.
you.
And then
And we
now,
used to like always celebrate holidays with Dana actually at our home as well in
Yes.
Jersey City. But
Thank you.
as what
They
we've
are my
shared,
family.
I know, but
I'm
as what
always
we've shared,
welcome
I
to
mean,
their home. Thank you.
yes, I'm in LA and Ali's in DC, so it's kind of like hard for us to be all together on the holidays again. I mean, yeah, I reminisce those days as well.
yes, of course. And before we go and proceed to Miss Sonia, the only one, let's read some comments. Miss Karen said, I agree. It's like we have to fulfill certain traditions. Attend and see people for Christmas parties when all you want is sleep. Oh my gosh. And then Kuya Roderick Toledo said, Hi Kuya Roderick. Kuya Roderick said, trying to hide from your godchildren on Christmas. Joke only. Yes.
Let's
And
explain
That's
that a little
funny.
bit to the viewers, like for those who are non-Filipinos. So in the Philippines, like if you have godchildren, like godkids, it's expected that on Christmas you have to provide money or gifts to your godchildren. So the more you have, the more you're gonna spend on Christmas.
exactly. There you go. So now let's proceed to Ate Sonia. How about you, Ate Sonia? Again, when it comes to the transgender community or being transgender, do you think that holiday blues or holiday stress is more prevalent?
Before I answer that question, Roderick Toledo, don't hide from me. It's Christmas, okay? So, gifts. Well, regarding the transgender, prevalent, depression, despite I just want to say yes, there will be issues regarding those who are not yet open, those who are not very vocal to their family. As I've witnessed, seen lots of friends with those issues, it is a moment that they give that moment of time spending it with the family in that few hours, the Christmas, especially in Christmas Eve. But after that, aside from their family, they have their chosen family. So after the eating and the chit chat, then it's time for, I'm going to my friends now to have a Christmas party. So your way, they have two families. So they may be pressured on that if they're not that vocal or open to their family, but a chosen family to be merry and enjoy the holidays. And an event for our lives. You just have to bear it, and you just have to really enjoy it despite the issues of your family. And as I said, especially I was in Japan also, I experienced also those loneliness time, but we are a group of transgender women, so we make way na the pressure of that. Why is it prevalent? But we are despite our own issues of depression blues, we make it a point now we have to be busy on that day, despite we have work. We have to. Oh, you cook your adobo. You cook your pancit canton. We are busy. So, despite that, we miss families and we are sad, but we have to make way that let's enjoy this moment. Let's enjoy this moment.
Okay.
Thank you, Ate Sonia. Yes. Now, by the way, just for everyone, if we're not speaking, let's actually just put it on mute, just so that everyone can actually like be able to express their opinions or their thoughts on the topic. So my next question would be, do you think that people with mental illness suffer from holiday blues? According to verywellmind.com and to NAMI, which is National Alliance on Mental Illness, 64% of people with an existing mental illness report that the holidays make their conditions worse. Why do you think that people with mental illness actually, the condition is worsened during the holidays? You're on mute, Dana. Can you unmute yourself?
I agree with that. That goes without saying that people with mental illness undergo seasonal depression or holiday blues, because when you're mentally ill, you're more sensitive, you're more irritable, you're more, let's say, dramatic. And dramatic, not in a bad way, because whenever we say dramatic, we always associate it with negative things. Dramatic and like a way that you see things in a bigger picture, like you feel something and it's more resonant to you. That's what I think.
Thank you for that. I really love what Dana shared. Yeah, because they're more sensitive, right? Oh my gosh, Angel, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I agree. I think I mean, luckily I don't, like I feel like the holidays bring out a lot of stress in general to everyone. Like the traffic becomes worse during the holidays, like the malls become very busy during the holidays. So I think it's harder to cope. And if you already have problems coping, or if you really like need more help in terms of coping, then I'm sure the holidays can also add up to that stress and things that you need to cope on.
Yes, I definitely agree with you on that, Angel. How about you, Ate Sonia? What is your take on it? Do you think that why do you think that people with mental illness suffer more during the holidays?
Yeah, I agree with Miss Dana that we tend to be more the drama, the drama, the drama. Yes, um the moment you see I'll just put it in me. The moment you see a Christmas decor in the streets, in the mall, there's a lot of things going in your mind already. Oh, a mistletoe. Then there goes the sensitivity, the drama, the upset. It's just comes in because, as I've said, it's the commercialism of Christmas, of the season, of the holiday. That's where all these mental things that going on in your mind, lots and lots of memories, lots of bad, good things coming in. So yes, it will affect you, even though you don't have any mental illness. There's something that will bother your mind when you see a mistletoe, a garland or something, a Christmas ball, a ball. When you see a ball, yes, yeah. Even the song, even songs. When you hear songs, "All I Want for Christmas" here in the Philippines, we have a very famous singer, Jose Marichan. When the Burr months comes in, they play what song? I hope you know. Whenever I see children, it's a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. And then there goes everything. It's just go back to when you're a kid. So mentally, yes, you will be bothered. It may be good, bad, dramatic, sensitivity. It just comes in.
And
So
speaking
yeah, and to
about
add
Jose
on,
Marie Chan, like when the Burmans came in, they started like putting out a lot of memes about him, kind of like I'm gonna start singing. And sometimes when I see it, it's almost like a PTSD that oh my god, the pressure is here. It's gonna be the holidays again.
just so you know, for everyone to understand, especially non-Filipinos, Jose Marie Chan is a famous singer in the Philippines who sang a famous Christmas song, which is kind of like the Philippine version of All I Want for Christmas of Mariah Carey. Like if everyone here in the United States know that once Mariah sings that song, then there you go. Same thing in the Philippines that when Jose Marie Chan sings this song, then that anxiety starts for some people as well. In my case, I actually believe that I do agree. You know, if you actually have like a mental illness and then like the holidays comes in and having the pressure of living up to the expectation, perhaps that something needs to be done during the holidays. Um, what if you're not in the right place to basically provide something for people, then that can actually be stressful. That can actually add anxiety. And that's the reason why I think with people who have mental illness, that they can actually suffer during the holiday season as well. So again, let's actually mute ourselves when we're not talking. So now the next question would be here. Did you know that there's also different severeness of the symptoms of holiday depression? So the symptoms of holiday depression are fairly mild, and there's also like SAD. SAD actually stands for seasonal affection disorder. So, and there's also like two types of holiday blues. So one is described as the holiday blues start around November or December and lift shortly after the new year ends. However, for SAD or seasonal affection disorder, it typically lasts about 40% of the year, starting late fall and early winter and going away during spring and summer. So if I actually can like um uh ask the question, so do you think that the weather has something to do with it as well? Holiday blues or holiday stress?
I'm not an
Definitely,
expert,
of
but
course.
yeah.
Well, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not an expert, but when I lived in New York City and I used to work like evening shift, whenever it's the winter time, I would get out of the house and it's gonna start to get dark already. And then by the time I go home, it's already dark. So I had very little sunshine on me. And I feel like every time it's my birthday in January, I feel depressed. And I think it's because of the season. But again, I'm just talking about my experience. I'm not an expert with this topic. But so I think to answer your question, yes, I think the weather can play a big role. Dana?
Dana, go ahead.
I agree with Angel. I'm actually gonna sneeze. I'm sorry.
Okay, so while Dana is sneezing, so my take on this is actually no, you know what? Let's actually read some comments first. So Kuya Roderick said, I think one reason is longing for someone or to be with someone far away from you, mostly experienced by those living abroad. Couldn't agree more with you, Kuya Roderick. And Miss Karen said, sometimes some people feel that they have to put up a mask to cope with happy people. Sometimes you'd want to stop Christmas from coming because of the stress. Yes, we definitely agree with that, Miss Karen. Okay, Miss Dana, are you back?
Yeah. What was the question again? I forgot.
Do you think that weather has something to do
Yeah, definitely.
with holiday blues or holiday stress?
Definitely agree with that. At one time I started getting cold. It started getting cold. Maybe like over a month ago or so. I was driving, and then this Filipino song played. I think it's called "Walang Hanggang Paalam." It's called that, and when it went to the chorus, I started crying nonstop, and for no reason. I would listen to that song and I would not be emotional, but during that time it started getting cold and it just felt like crying. So yeah, for no reason at all. I'm not even like emotional that day. I just woke up and then listened to that song while driving, and it hit me. Yeah. Yeah, I think weather has something to do with that, like early days and long nights. So yeah, that causes a lot of depression.
Thank you for sharing that, Miss Dana. Yeah, right. Like music or songs really can affect us a lot, especially this like holiday season, especially when it's cold, when it's dark. Who wants to go next? Ati Sonia?
Oh, yes, the weather. Just my first experience of that moment when you say that, does weather really affects your mood in this season? Funny story first, when I saw the snow, for the first time I first saw snow, I just rushed out and wore my bikini top and my jacket and said, take a photo, let's have a photo shoot wearing our bikinis in the snow. So I was in Hokkaido in Japan, and Hokkaido is the snowiest part of Japan. So I mean, in the first 10 days I was so amazed, snow, 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 so happy, so happy. And it was also the December season. So I said, but after the 10 days, oh my God, it was a 6 months of snow. And it was like, will this stop? Will this stop? And then that's where I learned. When I opened in my room, my bedroom, I opened the window and said it was all white, and I said, it's a sad. It may be white, but deep inside, you feel all the sadness because, and it's a gloomy weather, so you will feel it. You will feel so quiet and lonely when you're all alone and with this weather. So I think weather has a big part of those emotional and dramatic, and you just have to feel the drama. And you get your cup of cocoa, and then you look at the snow, and then say, "Happy holidays."
Yes, I really love what Ati Sonia had to say. You know what? That almost for me resonates to, just like for example, if a person is warm, then you feel more comfortable with that person. But when a person is cold, then I feel like it's usually harder to open up to that person. So definitely, I agree that the season or the weather has something to do with holiday stress or holiday blues. So my next question would
I want
be,
to add. I want to
go
add
ahead,
something
Angel.
to that also. Like when I first moved to like New York City, it was like in February, so it was like pretty much at the peak of winter time, and just seeing the trees not having leaves, I feel bad for them. Like I feel sad that it's not like blooming and everything, and of course because it's cold outside, you would see less people outside, less let's say animals outside. So I think that also adds to that during the holiday season if it's winter time.
Yes, love that New York City moment, Angel. Thank you for sharing that, right? In spite of the snow, in spite of the cold, it can definitely affect, a person's mood or a person's take on holiday blues or holiday stress. So Miss Karen said, yes, gloomy weather, gray clouds adds to the ambiance. Unless you have someone to hug during bad weather days. The gloomy bug can sting you. Yes. Ooh, to all those who actually have someone during their bedtime during the cold season, lucky for you. But someone like me, always alone. But anyway, my next question would be, um, do you think that holiday blues or holiday stress is present more in older people compared to younger people? If I could actually answer that question, I definitely think yes. I think because when you're a kid, it's so easy to really just like have friends because all you have to think of is school and friends. But during the holidays, you actually are on a Christmas break or on a holiday break. So all you have to do now is really like mingle with your friends. But as we get older, I think the pressure again there is to provide, which is not a problem. But sometimes if you don't have a problem providing, another problem could be you having the time to basically set up something for your loved ones, right? Or if you can, it's like a limited time. So I definitely think sometimes that it's really harder for older people or the elderly, during this time, So I definitely think that it's more present, holiday blues, holiday stress for older people. Angel, Dana, Sonia. Hello. Oh yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead,
Yeah,
Dana.
I agree with you. Although like younger, like what do you mean younger, younger? Like younger as in kids or younger adults or older adults or what do you mean? Anyone younger? Okay. Anyway, to answer that question, yeah, I think it's more people experience that sadness. I mean, when they're older, because a lot of people, a lot of loved ones have gone already. And when you're younger, usually everyone is taking care of you and all your needs are provided. When you get older, no one is doing that for you if you're single. But if you're not you're taken, you have somebody with you, things are being provided to you, and although like and also like you have more responsibilities, and say Christmas time is coming and you have no job or you're not getting paid a lot and you have family members to take care of, like us, we take care of our family members in the Philippines to send money to them, and when like money is not really that good, it becomes a problem. So yeah.
I can actually attest to Miss Dana, especially in the Filipino culture, where families, extended families, first cousins, second cousins, friends, everyone is a family. It could be hard. I agree. Yes. So I can actually feel that. Angel, yes, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I think it depends on the elderly if it becomes harder for them or not. I mean, Dana shared a little bit earlier that she works in a skilled nursing facility or a nursing home, and you see a lot of elderly there. And I actually, my first job as a nurse was also in a nursing home back in the Bronx. And because I learned things in nursing school that I know, like in late adulthood, 65 and above, it's very important to focus on the ego integrity versus despair. So for example, if somebody's older and they feel like they've accomplished things, like their ego integrity is good, so I feel like it's good to feed our elderly with like, oh my god, you did this, oh my god, you did that, and you've accomplished so many things, versus having a despair of like, oh my god, I was supposed to do this and I was not able to do these things and those things. So definitely I think if they like kind of like fall in either of the two, then they probably will feel it more exponentially during the holidays. But it doesn't necessarily mean that if you're older, then you're gonna feel more depression or stress during the holidays, because if you feel like you've accomplished a great job, like we've seen this sometimes on like movies in terms of let's say the head of the family, or the that they have accomplished, they had their like children grow up like in with good statuses in the community, then they might feel more accomplished and they actually might feel happier during the holidays. And I know for us, let's say Ali, we try to visit our mom more during the holiday season. So I'm sure she's happier that we actually get to visit her more during the holiday season than the rest of the year. So I feel like it's kind of like it depends on who the person is. It could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. And since we're talking about like I just want to share, I guess, because we're already talking about the Erickson's like stages. If you're middle adulthood, 45 to 64 years old, it's generativity versus stagnation. So this is, I think, what Dana was like sharing earlier in terms of, let's say, if you're able to provide or if you're able to do things, and versus kind of like you're plateaued in your life. And then early adulthood, 20 to 44, which most of us are, which is intimacy versus isolation. So we kind of spoke a little bit about that in terms of like our sadness if we feel very isolated and not having an intimate relationships during the holiday. At least this is if it's based on Erickson's stages.
I love that. Intimacy. For a 42 years old transgender woman, I guess I have 2 more years to find that intimacy. No, I'm kidding. Before we go to Ate Sonia, let's read some comments. So Salmon is my color. She actually said that this is in regards to um uh in regards to the question a while ago about um whether you feel the holiday blues depending on the weather. And she said that I agree, Ate Sonia. In Washington State, the doctors there would tell their patients to buy a black light to combat depression from the lack of sun. Oh wow. Does that mean like Seattle, Washington? Because you know what, there's like sleep in Seattle. They say that it rains there all the time. Yeah, so it kind of makes sense, right? And then Ate Karen said in regarding the question about if older people feel more of the holiday blues, she said that as you get older, you realize the responsibilities involved in providing or organizing or celebrating an event or occasion. When you're younger, you just show up. And Kuya Roderick said, again, when it comes to the question about if older people feel the holiday blues more, I somehow agree it's more felt by older people since older people become more emotional, just like me. Well, Kuya Roderick, you look good, just like, just so you know, though, you're not alone. I feel that way sometimes too. And Ate Karen Angel said that I agree with you on the Eric Erickson. Yes. Okay, Ate Sonia, how about you? What's your take on that?
Oh, Angel, I love that the Ericsson thing. So where am I in that? Well, regarding do older, it depends. It really depends on your status, what how you live for older people, how you live your life as a person. So did you have you experienced older people experience a lot of these holidays, so they know what they will expect, what they want, and what they have to feel on that day. But I have my Lola with me. I have my grandma with me. So I believe that for me, it is the happiest time for her because she's the one who said, "Oh, you take in November." She will say, "Oh, take out the box of Christmas decorations." So it is an event for her. So I I give her that. So I think that I I truly feel that is she because she's single. So I don't. She's single ever since. So I just I just think I just have to give her best times for this year because it's a season to make her feel good and my brother. So do older people feel sad? Yes, there is an emptiness and there's something they feel inside. So you just have to let them enjoy. Since we are younger than them, you give them that. You give them that hope. You give them that happiness in this season. I think that's the best gift that you can give to them. I think that's it.
Thank you so much, Ate Sonia. This also definitely present, especially when it comes to the Filipino culture. We take care so much of our elderly. And so I think on that case, I agree with you, Ate Sonia, that we will do the best that we can, because after all, they did everything for us. So now it's time for us to take good care of them. So my next question would be, what do you think are some causes of holiday depression? Well, you already tackled some of it a while ago. And according to verywellminded.com, some of the stuff that we mentioned a while ago was financial stress and isolation and loneliness. There are actually three more. What do you think those three things are? Or if I could actually just say it now, they're actually, so aside from financial stress and isolation and loneliness, is lack of sleep, excess eating and alcohol, and unrealistic expectations. So to everyone right in our live chat and to everyone here in the panel, out of the five, which one can you resonate to the most in terms of the five things that causes holiday depression? Again, is it lack of sleep, excess eating and alcohol, financial stress, isolation and loneliness, and unrealistic expectations? Maybe since I'm
Um,
already talked, go ahead. Go ahead, Dana.
I think for me, I can most relate with isolation and loneliness because I live alone. I have two dogs. I'm not lonely all the time. They make me happy. But, you know, sometimes you feel like something is missing. Although I always say, like, it's just a dick. I don't miss that. But anyway, uh, anyway, it's sometimes I feel alone. Like, I need someone to, like, tell my problems to, tell my achievements to, share my happiness with, share my loneliness with. Um, and sometimes when it's not there, it's feel the emptiness a little bit. And yeah, it's for me, it's not that I have accepted, well, I have made peace with, like being single, maybe forever, but that not closing my doors. I just have accepted that maybe it's not for me, maybe it's not happening, but I'm not closing my doors. I'm just like open to that idea now that I'm older, that I could be lonely, or I mean, I could be alone, but I don't have I don't have to be necessarily lonely. So yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for that, for sharing that, Miss Dana. Who wants to go next? Miss Angel,
Yes,
Miss Sonia?
I
Okay, Ate
I
Sonia, go ahead.
I agree with Miss Dana. I may be alone. For me, I'm sorry. I like that, Miss Dana. Thank you. But for me, I may be alone, but I'm not lonely because I have my family, my friends. So I think I choose the isolation thing. So I may be here in Manila in my room in my house. I may be alone, but I'm not lonely. So I cope up. I There's lots of things despite my alone time, and I pray to God Almighty for how will I every day. I just pray and just to be very thankful that I am experiencing another holiday season of this. So isolation and loneliness, yes, that's one thing that I have to keep on surviving every day of my life. But I'm not lonely.
Thank you so much, Miss Ate Sonia. If I could actually answer that question before we go to Angel, as well as to our friends in the live chat, I can definitely say that I can resonate to lack of sleep. I guess because I just do so many things all at the same time. And again, like for example, like last week I had to like go to New York, I mean Jersey City as well, to visit my family, and then I had to go to New York to see my coworkers that I did not see since May of 2019 because it was like the pandemic last year. And at the same time, coming back here to Washington, D.C., isolation and loneliness because I really don't know anyone here. I mean, I can have a very few friends, but they're like not close by. But I can also agree with Ate Sonia, isolation and loneliness. But at the same time, I just try to like be thankful every day. I mean, I think that's very ingrained in us, in like the Filipino culture, that you know what, God is always there, for us to hold on to. So, by the way, hello to T Glass, miss you too. So, Angel, how about you?
So I'm the one who has a partner here in this group. But I would still also, if I were to choose among all of those things, I probably will still choose loneliness also. And I'll tell you why in a little bit, because I know I've also experienced the other ones prior, like the financial, of course, like when I was like pursuing more of the acting, I'm not full-time nursing, then obviously my funds were lower at that time. So the expectations were a little bit more of like a higher pressure at that point. And then the lack of sleep sometimes, because because I work as a registered nurse, usually I work sometimes on the holidays, and obviously the need for you to work and still spend time kind of celebrating the holidays would actually result into having less sleep in those cases. But for now, like the most pressing is probably isolation. Even though I have a partner and we spend great time together and celebrate the holidays together, it's still not the same if you like the Christmases that we've had in the Philippines, for example, where we would meet our cousins, our relatives, like we would meet a lot of people, and kind of it's a time to actually meet with relatives. We spent Christmas one time in the Philippines in our province, and it was such a joyous time. Like I was with my boyfriend, I was with our cousins, our relatives, like my aunts and uncles, and and it just felt amazing to be around a lot of people during the holidays. So even though here we do spend time sometimes in Jersey City, like sometimes during the holidays, but because usually I work during the holidays, I don't get to spend the actual Christmas there. So I think it's still loneliness, even though I'm partnered. It's still different having more loved ones with you on the holidays. And I also want to add that sometimes the expectations of Christmas is that it's also for kids. And obviously, I don't have a kid. And I don't know if I'm ever going to have kids, but I would love to have kids. And I would love to kind of spend holidays with kids. I mean, we do spend it with our nephew, but it's still kind of different having more kids and kids of your own. So sometimes I think about that as well. And of course, that also brings loneliness or unexpected expectations of the holidays. So that's kind of what I would share in my case. So even though I'm partnered, it doesn't automatically mean that loneliness is not a problem during the holidays.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Wow. Synonymously, a lot of us here said isolation. You know what? Uh Tiglas actually said, Angel, that exactly nursing is brutal. Now let me actually read some comments. Wow. So Roderick Toledo said number 4, which is isolation and loneliness, is the greatest factor for me. It's difficult to cope up with loneliness at times, especially thinking about what lies ahead in the future, though loneliness is just a stage that passes by. Just like that quote, and this too shall pass. And Angel, before I read the other comments, can you just say something because there's a siren behind me? There's still go ahead. Unless you just want me to continue and there's a siren, so that there's no dead air in here.
No, it's okay. So I guess I'm gonna ask questions. If you guys can give 3 things that are very specific that would give you stress or blues during the holidays. Like I would add, for example, the traffic. I know traffic is so bad here in LA in terms of the holiday season and the driving. And I know going to malls, like sometimes during the holiday season, I would be like, I'm not going to go to the mall until January because I really just get stressed with the mall as well. So those are like some of the things that I know that brings me stress also during the holiday season. Can anybody share?
Yeah, before we go to everyone, Miss Dana, let me just read some of the other comments. And Adam Christopher T. Bay. Hi, Adam. Adam is actually an amazing friend from New York. He said that none of the above. Love that. Very optimistic. He said, none of the above, existential, a pursuit of happiness. Yes, always looking forward to the brighter side. And Miss Karen Pineda said, number 5, which is unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations on yourself and on others. You want to prepare this and that food or give this and that gift for this person, but you don't have the money, the energy to provide that. Yes, we definitely can agree to all these. Okay, now back to Angel's question about what are some of the 3 examples that can cause holiday stress. Yeah, who wants to go? Oh, Dana, yeah, you wanted to say something.
Stressed people stress me out. Because when they're stressed, they pass it on to you. And it's not cool. So just chill.
Chill, yes. And Kuya Roderick said, work gives me stress since I work on retail. I actually know that stress, Kuya Roderick, because sometimes the problem in retail, as you all know, I before I became a TV news makeup artist, I worked for retail for like more than 10 years. And the stress that your bosses gives you or the company, as a makeup artist, it's not about the good makeup that we do in the makeup counter. You know what they stress us about is the goals. There's a sales goal that we need to meet. And that's what they look at. Not how good of you are as a makeup artist, not the service that you provide, but it's always about the goal first. And that's the sad part sometimes of commercialism. Just like what Ate Sonia said in the beginning of this episode. How about you, Ate Sonia? What is it?
Oh, what? I think we've got, lots of things to be stressed about during the holidays, especially this pandemic that has been happening. So there are so many limited movement and how you will celebrate. I think that's for me, for the past 2 years, the limited movement and the limited of especially being with your loved ones here. And even though we're here, we cannot celebrate it together because of this pandemic thing. And I think I think this year we will do again another virtual Christmas. So I think that's the stressful thing for me because I don't get to see my nieces, my nephews, and talk about stupid things.
Thank
And
you for
eat pizza.
that.
Thank you.
I love that, Arisonia. But you know what? As we can all hear, Arisonia has like so many like fur babies that love her and love her family. Yes. So Miss Dina, did you already answer the question? What are okay. So now the next question would be, how do you think a person how do you think can a person cope up with holiday blues if they experience it? So what do you think are some ways or how can person can cope up with holiday blues?
I
Angel?
think they should listen to this conversation and actually acknowledge that the holidays can bring stress. So even though it's kind of commercialized as something very positive and grandiose and party all the time, it's not the case for everybody. And it's okay. It's okay to acknowledge that it's not the case for everybody. And maybe they can hear some tips from us here on Transistors TV.
Thank you for that, Angel. Yes. Yeah, I actually agree with that when it comes to like acknowledgement. Because I think that the fact that you acknowledge it just makes it easier because that's already your present state. That's your truth. So you just like let it be, right? So okay. And yeah, and I actually love this, like every Sunday, like our support group in here, because you feel like you're not alone. Because at the end of the day, the way we actually share things, all of us are synonymous in the way we feel. It may be like different situations, but it's very synonymous. Oh, to answer Angel's question a while ago about some of the examples of holiday stress, Miss Karen Pineda, or teacher Karen, said from the Philippines, computing grades before you can think of Christmas. Hearing relatives say, you're getting fat. Oh my gosh. This is actually very evident in the Filipino families. I feel like every relative says like, why are you getting fat? And it's really annoying. So to all the Filipino relatives there, can you please have a different question? And then finding clothes to wear, especially when online class makes you sit all day. That's really cute though, Adik Karen. Super cute. Love you so much. Just like
And
what
I
Angel
want to add with like people telling that you're fat, but then if you're refusing the food, they're gonna be like, no, you should eat. Like it's hard to say no with food during the holidays as well.
Yes, thank you, Angel. So who would like to go next? Again, how do you think a person can cope up with holiday blues?
A good resolution to that would be find one person you trust and love that you can tell all your heartaches to, all of your misfortunes, all of your happiness with, share everything that's been bothering you. It doesn't have to be like a lot of people. Just find a good support system. Could be one person, don't find anyone, be one, be a good support system, and that I think that will change everything for you. Find your purpose, like find something to do, um, something helpful to a lot of people, like what you guys are doing here. It's actually very, very helpful. Yeah, thank you for this, and thank you for inviting.
Thank you, Miss Dana. Miss Sonia, did you want to say something?
Oh, sorry. Um, just simple things. Do simple things to give you joy. I think it doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be fabulous or festive. Just do simple things that will give you joy. And I think that's the best thing that you can give to yourself to avoid the stressfulness and the pressure of this holiday season. And I mean, it's becoming, as I've said, it's a bit. Well, why? Because of the commercialism of the holidays. That's why it just goes through you. So I mean, do simple things that will give you simple joy, and I think that will be a start for you to have a very grand, a very festive holidays to take away the blues. So I have a question
Sure.
to Miss Colombia, to Miss Venezuela, and Miss Malaysia, and of course, and here's the question: what is
Before the
most...
question, can I just share something about the question? Okay, before you go to the question, let me just share again. The question is, before we go to answer this question, how do you think can a person cope up with holiday blues? So according to healthlinkbc.ca, number one, get support if you need it. You may feel embarrassed to ask for help, or you may think that you'll get over the blues in your own. But most people need treatment to get better. Talk with your doctors about counseling and medicine for depression. More than anything, I think that, going to a professional, going to a doctor, a professional can really like help someone if you cannot really deal it with yourself, if your friends and family cannot really be there to help you. I think that nowadays, just like it's so good that we can talk about mental health. You know what? If it's for your own good as well, consult a doctor. Number two, keep a regular sleep, meal, and exercise schedule, and limit your alcohol, right? Especially if you're lightheaded, let's refrain from alcohol. And number three, take breaks from group activities. Pay attention to your own needs and feelings. At the end of the day, self-love is very important. I agree to that. I mean, how can you give something to someone when you cannot provide anything for yourself? On that note, let's go to Ate Sonia's question.
Yes, get professional help if it is really going.
Oh, Miss Sonia, just hold on again. Just because Kuya Roderick had... Kuya Roderick said, I also agree with Miss Dana, and if you can't find someone to talk to, you can write your worries on a piece of paper. Prayers would help too. That's my takeaway today. Writing it on a piece of paper, because there's power in writing it down, because some way, somehow, I feel like you get to release what you feel. Okay, now I'm not going to interrupt you, Ate Sonia. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. It's Kuya Roderick, Yes, Kuya Roderick. You have lots of there, huh? So, despite the blues, despite the stress, despite the pressure, despite the loneliness, the alone time, let me just say this question to you, ladies: what is that you like during the holidays, despite of the pressure, the anxiety, and the things that bothers you mentally? Let's go. What do you like about this holiday?
This is actually a... Oh, go
Definitely.
ahead, Miss Dana.
Sorry. I'm sorry, like if no. Anyway, definitely because Jesus was born, so we have to celebrate that, and not to be all preachy and all that, but it's God. God is number one, and although you're not feeling happy, you're kind of like obligated to celebrate because people are happy, and um, they share your happiness with you, and kind of like takes your problems, all your worries away. And yeah, I think you really have to celebrate Christmas, and that that's what I'm expecting to do.
Love what Miss Dana said. Really, Christmas is all about, Jesus' birthday. And of course, our Jewish friends, happy Hanukkah. To everyone, maybe like happy Kwanzaa. And before we go to Angel, I and Sonia, Miss Karen said, being realistic, acknowledging and accepting that you don't have to be all that. Be kind to yourself and others. Also thinking that others have lesser than what you have or are in worse situation helps. And as she said again, prayer works, and I do agree. Angel?
Thank you, Ate Sonia, for that wonderful question. But of course, I love Christmas and I love to celebrate Christmas. I love being able to be given that chance to kind of like, it's a given that you have to spend time with your friends and family. Despite all of the stress and everything that we've spoken about tonight, I think just because we know that that's the spirit of Christmas, that, Jesus was born and we're all like, we're saved and we all really want to spend time with family and friends, then I feel like it's easier for us to reach out to family and friends because it's the holiday season. And it's also close to New Year's. So it's like close to the end of the year. So I think we all have to be thankful and grateful that we survived another year, that we survived, let's say, this year, 2021, and that we have an opportunity to spend another year the following year after the holidays. So I think those are the positive notes that I would say in terms of the holiday season, despite all of the stress that we have to go through just so that we can spend, or at least we can try to have a good holiday.
Love that, Angel. And if I could actually answer Atisonia's question, I guess this is also like my final thoughts about our topic tonight, holiday blues, holiday stress. What I'm most thankful for about holiday blues, holiday stress, or is really like going back to knowing what the true value of the holiday is really, first and foremost, of course, it's Jesus Christ's birthday. If you're not religious, I think that the next one to that is the relationships that you have with the people that you love, whether that be your family, your chosen family, your friends. More than anything, I actually think that what I appreciate most are not the material gifts that I receive from them. It's actually the phone call that I actually appreciate the most. It's the text messages that actually I appreciate the most. It's that time of letting that person know that you thought about them. Because nowadays it's hard, not knowing that people think of you. But when someone does, it can actually make that person's day. So for me, it's about the people. It's about our relationships. Sonia?
Thank you, Miss Dana, Miss Angel, Miss Ali, for those wonderful answers, and you got it right. It is the birth of our Lord, and of course the relationship with people and with your friends, chosen family, and your neighbors and your friends. So yes, despite there's always something to look. There's always something happy about this season, despite all what we are feeling right now, and be grateful. Last week we were talking about gratitude, so we always have to be grateful. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you. So now it's time for you to like promote yourselves. Sonia, do you want to promote yourself? And Miss Dana, Angel? My name is AllyCat Castle. Thank you so much for watching Transgender TV. Before we read our other comments, if you enjoyed this episode today, please give it a thumbs up as well. Please share. And also please support my other channel, AllyCat Castle, where I do makeup tutorials as well. And again, please support us on Instagram, Transgender TV as well. Okay, Miss Angel, Miss Sonia, Miss Dana.
Yes. Owarimashita ne. Chotto. You can say about holiday blues in Nihongo, it is go gatsubyo. Go gatsubyo. Go is it. it has so many meaning, but particularly they use it also when after during the season of holidays, during after the season of not even a holiday. Go is the fifth, Gatsu is the month, Bio is sick. So it's Go Gatsu Bio. So when you say Go Gatsu Bio, it is like post-holiday stress, post-holiday feeling. So Go Gatsu Bio. So that's what we are talking about. It is the holiday stress and blues. But of course, I'm Sonia, the only one, Sonia Agbayani in my soft media accounts, and I do styling and I do events and production, and I am part of this very, very beautiful ladies. And thank you, Miss Dana, Miss Angel, Miss Ali, Transistor TV. We are here for you, everybody. Arigato
Thank you,
gozaimasu.
Miss Sonia. Miss Dana, go ahead.
Thank you for inviting me to join you guys. I'm sorry I'm like little down like this because I'm experiencing some allergies and I've been sneezing nonstop while driving, while doing nothing, whatever. It's horrible. I wouldn't wish this to my worst enemy. But anyway, thank you so much, and just wanna say like what the like Hispanic people always say like. Vaya con Dios, vaya con Dios, go with God. Bye, love you guys. Wow.
Oh, thank you, Miss Dana. Vaya con Dios. And Miss Karen said, remembering, before we go to Angel, remembering that Christmas is really about love, peace, joy, and hope because Christ is born. It makes things easier to look at and counter blessings instead of stressing over what you don't have. Make the first step to say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. Thank you. Angel?
Yes, thank you very much, Dana, for being here tonight, for gracing us with your presence here. I love all of the answers that you had, and you definitely bring joy to us. And you are family, and I miss you. And thank you very much, everybody who are also watching. And as what Ali said, if you enjoyed this, please give us a thumbs up, please share, and please join us again next week on our community gathering. Next week, it might be a different time because me and Lee would have to attend a service. So stay tuned. I hope you follow us on Instagram on Transistors TV for the actual time because we haven't come up with the actual time yet for next week. But I hope, I guess, again, you join us. My Instagram is Angel Qinan, ANGLQINAN. And I hope you enjoyed tonight's topic. My final takeaway is that it's okay to acknowledge that we also feel blues and stress during the holiday season. And if we acknowledge that, then maybe we could do something about it. And as what I forgot who said it, just keep it simple. I think Ate Sonia did say it, just keep it simple. The more important thing is that we are celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ and the time for joy and giving and being with family and friends. Ali, do you wanna you have any last words, and you can close out?
So basically, that's pretty much it. Hope to see you again all next week. Thank you for joining us. As we say here, thank you so much for watching Transitions TV.